Two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another brand new episode of Off the Track Podcast. This is episode number 9. And on this one, just gonna be me and John.
Yep.
We're in a duo this time. Yeah. So
I don't mind. Everybody kind of, we're getting to the start of the school year next Monday, literally next Monday. So I know a lot of people got everything on their plate. I don't mind for people. We can get it done, knock it out.
Yeah, these past few weeks been hectic on the sports and academic fronts.
Yeah.
So USC, they canceled all the hybrid classes. Everyone's online. And then the big decision from the Pac-12 and the Big Ten to cancel fall sports or postpone was a major bombshell this week.
I know, it's literally canceled with optimism that it's going to be in the spring. So, well, I mean, it's the same thing. They pretty much did practically make it a spring sport, which you could define as postponed, because they're going to be under the same predicament that we are, in which we're just hoping that, like, by that time, everybody, like, we have more information regardless of if there's a vaccine or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, frankly, from the get-go, could have and should have been an opportunity. Like, that this should have been the right, proper decision early on. It's funny because I was talking to one of our trainers. I was talking to Justin about it back in, like, June, May. And he, like, that was his idea about it, too. That he wanted all kind of sports to push to spring so we can get all that time. And, it gives everybody an actual opportunity to play.
Yeah, I had a feeling, like, back in June, I started having a feeling developed. I was like, the likelihood of fall sports happening this fall, it's probably not going to happen. So I was, like, mentally preparing myself, like, okay, school's going to be totally different. Fall trainings will be different. And it's going to be very weird to not seeing college football on Saturdays.
I mean, see the NFL is, like, hopping into hopefully playing on Saturday.
Hey, there's a good opportunity for them. They do it twice for 2 weeks, and like week 15, 16.
Yeah, they get it when there's, like, bowl games going on, or where there's, like, that week lapse of bowl games.
Yeah, and hey, people watch. So if the NFL could capture the opportunity, it'd be big for them. Also, kind of big for NBA. They'll have more eyes on the playoffs.
Yeah, it starts this upcoming Monday. I think that it runs through all of September with the idea. I think the last possible date of a game is October 10th.
Yeah, October 10th, Game 7.
Yeah, I mean it's disappointing, and granted, it's disappointing in our aspect because we're one of the schools involved in the Pac-12 of, like, the two major conferences. I mean, there have been several conferences that have already done this, but the two major conferences, like, shutting down yesterday. That's why, like, we get this negative, like, pessimism. We're just upset about it. But at the same time, you look at other conferences, such as the SEC, ACC, Big 12, in which all of them have been saying they're still aiming towards playing. But there's a lot of people out there saying, they could say that all they want. 2 or 3 weeks in, more than likely they're going to have to shut down as well.
Exactly. And a lot of these universities have everyone returning to campus.
Yeah.
And in-person classes, like student bodies in the 40,000s. People still going party. There's already been seen that people who had large gatherings have been testing positive for COVID. That's a big reason for the spike. So I don't see that not happening at these schools in the South, and elevating the risk of these players getting COVID. So I'll be surprised if the SEC, ACC, and the Big 12 actually finish a football season this fall. But if they do, all power to them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, like, I don't think the accurate representation for, like, to account the number of people that are going back to said campuses, because it is the expectation about people going back, and I think one of the problems in which forced the Pac-12 and Big Ten to shut down is it is with the utmost expectation that a lot of these students, I'll separate the athletes for right now. A lot of the students that maybe live on campus, even though we're going to be online, and I'll specify to SC as well. Like we even saw it with the row. Students are still going to be students. They still want to go out and party. But at the same time, the problem with what's going on in shutting down these two conferences, and I think is the major argument, is we've seen the protocols. We've listened in meetings to what the protocols are in place for us. That, there's not a lot of other routes that could have gone for people to feel safer in aspect of athletes being on campus. So I think that's what's kind of missed here. I think that's what people were arguing and trying to fight for this. Like, I mean, you see all the college football players stepping up and trying to say we want to play, and like everybody's saying they feel safer here than having to go back home. With the protocols in place that we've seen, yeah, we both, I believe, can attest to that. It's saddening, but it's not unexpected.
Yeah, the data is what it is. But we got hot spots. Here? No, LA, the Bay Area. Washington? No, I don't know about Washington. But Arizona?
I think it's, they said of the 12 schools in Pac-12, 5.
It was like 5 cities.
So, it would be
LA, Bay Area.
LA, Bay Area, I think Seattle, and I think the Arizona schools. No, I think Boulder.
Really?
I think it's Boulder because I know Denver's, I don't think, doing that well right now.
Man, I did not expect that. But yeah, like I just checked, like the 7-day trend for the positivity rate for LA County right now is 7.2%, and in my home county, in Maryland, Anne Arundel County, our positivity rate is 3.2. A very large difference.
Yeah.
So it's like, and LA County is more dense. So it's like we're fighting something way bigger here. I know people want to play, but we just have to be safe.
Yeah, it's not only the safety aspect. It's a big. I think the main reason people shut down is the idea of liability, because that's the most obvious one. That's why schools haven't been able to go back, because you can argue, and while everybody argues that these kids need to be in school, should the event happen, there's, I believe the number's 25,000 that go to SC. It's not a like bigger school, but it has a hefty population. Of those, if you get 1, maybe 5 kids that come down with this, and like that is in turn the school's fault still. Like, while the majority, you get the 99 point whatever percent are going to be perfectly fine, like it is still up to the school that they have to account for everybody, like every single person. And while it may be naive to say that, that is the ultimate reality. And I think that's the main thing going on with why the Pac-12 and the Big Ten had to shut down, is because while everybody still wants to play, like, should someone get sick, should someone get seriously damaged by this, it could ultimately ruin both conferences and college football, period.
Yeah, and the cost.
Yeah,
there's the cost alone. Like, people like comparing, like people like saying, "Oh, the NBA's doing this." Like, first, it's a privately owned company. They're paying hundreds of millions of dollars for their privately owned COVID tests and their on-site restrictions and regulations. All these universities don't have the funding for that. But all these universities, even in the Pac-12, are not a USC where athletics is funded pretty high.
Yeah.
And people just got to understand the risk and reward in dealing with this coronavirus. Like, people would have just listened back in March, we would have been in a situation. But we just got to deal with it. Deal with the punches thrown at us.
The ultimately bigger upside of this is, while everything got pushed back to the spring, we won't be able to see in the fall. Optimistically, we actually may be able to attend games in the spring, though. There is some optimism to go with it. And while sucks right now because, fall is associated with college football and pro football is still going on. But like it ultimately, it is for the safety of most involved, majority involved, and it just sucks. It really does.
Yes, something we haven't experienced in a very long time. Well, I don't think this country experienced anything like this since World War II.
Yeah.
Man, that's wow. That's amazing. But yeah, who was it? There's a few players that tweeted, not in the Pac-12. They're like Big Ten players. They said, NCAA is not slick. They double dip into the fall and spring for that money. I thought about it, but I was like, wait a minute. The TV deals is the TV deals.
Yeah.
They're gonna get the money regardless. I'm like these schools are still losing money for not having fans there.
Not having fans there, not. Yeah, they're not having.
It was just a poor argument to me.
What sucks about it as well is, not sucks about it, and kind of what you were referring to when you see all these Big Ten players talking. I think I saw, it was on Barstool's Twitter for SC. They were retweeting or screenshotting like the people on our team like tweets about it, and one of which stood out to me was Marquis Steps, where Marquis Steps said everybody wants to play now, but no, everybody. No, he put 3 laughing emojis. He said, "Oh, now that NCAA put their foot down, suddenly everybody wants to play." So I mean, we can